When I was 15, I was a big fan of first-person shooters. I spent hours on hours perfecting my skills and working my way up to the leaderboard. There was one snag that kept me from enjoying it to the fullest. Its name was cheating. I've heard stories of players using hacks to gain an unfair advantage, but I'd never given it much thought until I encountered it myself in the game. It was a typical Saturday afternoon as I sat down to play my favorite shooting game. I just joined the match and I was confident in my abilities, but as soon as the match started, I realized something was wrong. One of the opponents surprised me with his skills. He turned his sight on me and fired so fast that I didn't have time to react. Not only me, but my whole team noticed this. He could find me behind any wall, behind any object I was hiding behind like he had some sort of radar or X-ray vision. At first I thought it was just coincidence. Maybe this player was just really this good. But as the match went on, it became clear that this was not a high-skill player, much less a coincidence. After consulting in voice with the team, we came to the conclusion that we have a cheater on our hands. I tried to report the player to support, but the in-game reporting system was extremely slow. By the time I finished filing out the report, the match was over, and the scammer had already moved on to his next victim. Over the course of several weeks, I encountered more and more cheaters in the game. It seemed that in every other match, players use exploits to gain an unfair advantage. It infuriated me. Instead of having a great time playing, I was rage-quitting game after game. But then I stumbled upon an online community of players dedicated to combating cheating. They developed their own anti-cheat software and actively reported cheaters to the game's developers. I really liked the idea of punishing unethical players, so I downloaded the AntiCheat software and started actively reporting cheaters whenever I encountered them in the game. I knew it didn't amount to much, but a pleasant feeling warmed my soul knowing that I was doing the right thing. Over time, I began to notice changes in the game. There were fewer cheaters and the matches seemed more balanced and competitive. It wasn't a perfect system and there were still players who managed to slip through the cracks, but it was a step in the right direction. Cheating in shooters is more than just an annoying nuisance. It's a serious problem that can ruin the experience for everyone involved. But by uniting and fighting against cheaters, we can make a difference and help keep our favorite games fair and fun for all players. I joined the ranks to combat unethical people using cheats. The AntiCheat Community told me the information I needed to know about the exploits in order to quickly identify them in the future. I was shocked at how creative some of these hacks were and how difficult they were to spot. In order to not be unfounded, I'll tell you about the most common cheats in games because I believe that being aware means being armed. The first cheat I want to tell you about is called Wall Hack. This cheat allows you to see through walls, which gives the player a significant advantage in the game, allowing him to see where opponents and other objects are on the map. I stumbled upon this cheat in Counter-Strike Global Offensive when an enemy behind a wall shot me in the head, and that wasn't the only moment. Throughout the game, the cheater could see and predict the actions of my allies. Another cheat worth mentioning is called Aimbot. This cheat will automatically target the enemy's head, making it very effective when shooting. It can also detect when the player is moving and adjust the crosshair to hit them. This cheat I found in Overwatch, where an enemy was able to kill me with one shot from a super long distance. The third is called Speed Hack. This hack allows the player to move faster than others, making it super difficult to hit the target. I came across this cheat in Fortnite. I shot at the opponent, but I couldn't hit it because he was there and the movements were too fast. Some cheats are very difficult to detect, especially if they were written by talented programmers, but the game developers are constantly improving the system of protecting against such exploits. They use anti-cheats and anti-hacks to prevent the exploitation of these vulnerabilities. I continued to work with the anti-cheating community and began to feel a sense of pride and accomplishment. There are fewer and fewer cheats in games. It seemed to me that I had sowed an atmosphere of justice on the servers. I really liked it because I made the game better for everyone. I was aware that cheaters still exist and that they'll always pose a threat to the integrity of the game. But I also knew that there were people like me, people who care about fair play and competitive spirit, who were ready to fight back. I woke up one morning to a message from one of the members of the anti-cheat community. They discovered a new type of hack that was rapidly spreading throughout the game, and they called on all players to help stop it. Without hesitation, I entered the game and joined the match. In the first game, I saw a bad picture. The players moved in an unnatural way, and their shots hit me even when I was behind cover. I began collecting evidence of the scam by taking screenshots and recording videos of suspicious behavior and started communicating with my team, coordinating our efforts to catch the scammers red-handed. It was hard, but we managed to collect enough evidence to report the cheaters to the game developers. We've done a great job so developers can update their software to detect this new hack. Let's open the veil of secrecy a little and tell you about this community. The AntiCheat Community is a group of people dedicated to finding and combating cheating in online games. There are programs and tools to help determine if a player is using prohibited software, and these tools also help in detecting new cheats that appear every day. But in addition to technology, there are also people in the anti-cheat community who track cheaters. These people are the so-called game masters. They play and observe the behavior of the players, looking for signs of cheating. If they suspect that one of the players is using cheats, they report this to the game administrators. Game masters are also developing new methods for detecting cheating. They study the software used by cheaters to understand how it works and how to detect it. These people put a lot of time and effort into making games more fair and interesting for all players. But the anti-cheat community is not limited to game masters. There are also developers who create anti-cheat programs, and they use various methods such as analyzing game code, detecting prohibited software modules, and analyzing player behavior. In addition, the anti-cheat community includes players who act honestly and follow the rules. They help the administration of the game by reporting cheating and helping to identify new methods of cheating. Over time, my involvement in the community has only intensified. I began to spend more and more of my free time reporting scammers and working with others to develop new tactics and strategies to catch them red-handed. But as much as I enjoy the job, I began to feel tired. The constant struggle is exhausting, and there were moments where I wanted to give up. That's when I started thinking about the big picture. I realized that cheating in games was just one symptom of a larger problem: the erosion of trust and integrity in our society as a whole. I started thinking about ways to solve this problem outside of the game world. Perhaps schools and universities need to pay more attention to ethics and morality. Perhaps there should be more accountability and transparency in government and business. While studying these ideas, I realized that the fight against cheating in games was just a tiny part of a much larger struggle, and I knew that I wanted to be a part of it. So I got into the legal profession, focusing on issues such as social justice, environmental protection, and human rights. I found the same skills and passions that drove me to fight cheaters in games can be applied to these larger goals as well. And while the work could be difficult and frustrating at times, it also brought a sense of fulfillment and purpose that I've never experienced before. Looking back, I understand that it all started with a simple desire for fair play. And this desire took me down a path that I could have never foreseen, a path that led me to new heights of advocacy and personal growth. And as I continue to fight for what I believe in, I know that I'll always carry with me the lessons and experiences I've gained in the gaming world. Because whether we're fighting scammers in the virtual arena or fighting for a better world in the real world, the principles of fair play and integrity remain the same. As time passed, I continued to be an active member of the anti-fraud community and a strong believer in fair play in all walks of life. Through my work, I met many amazing people who shared my passion for fairness and decency. We've worked together to create a stronger and fairer community, not only in the gaming world, but in the world at large. In the end, I realized that the fight against cheating was never just about winning games or dominating your opponents. It was about creating a world where honesty and integrity were valued, where people could compete on equal footing and be judged by their skill, not their willingness to cheat. And while this world may still be in development, I know we're moving in the right direction. We may not always win every battle, but as long as we have honor and integrity on our side, we'll never lose. So to all my fellow gamers, I say this: never give up, never give up, never give up on your principles. Keep fighting for what you believe in, whether it's the round of the game or the boardroom, and never forget that the spirit of fair play and integrity will always be your greatest weapon. And what I want to say to fraudsters is that in recent years, it's become much more difficult to use exploits. And it takes a lot of time and effort to create a new cheat. I hope that soon you'll realize that you're wasting your precious energy in the wrong direction and will find the right use for it, more noble and correct.